Good morning, Wall Street winners. It is Friday, July 18th, and I apologize for my tardiness this week. I have been away and am away in Northern Ireland for the Open, and with the time zone change and other factors, I have been neglecting recording some of these videos this week. But I did want to have a week end of week summary and talk a little about what's going on with the S&P 500 hitting new highs. I think the biggest threat right now outside of tariffs, which is an ever evolving threat to volatility and the overall economy, is simply Jerome Powell and the threats from Donald Trump about his termination, leveraging this renovation gone wrong in the US Federal Reserve in Washington, which is, I think, just a bit of another made up story and facade to rattle him and attempt to get him to resign before trying to move him out of his post about a year premature to when he'll step down anyway. Trump forgetting, I think, at times that he was the person that put him in office in the first place. Anyway, if we turn and take a look at the markets and the futures, it is still obviously really early in the morning right now, with the time shift for me being in Europe. But this is a look at where we are, and it looks like right now all three indices in the U.S. are in the green. I do expect that may change going into the open. We take a look at the Yahoo Finance app for just a second here. A couple of notable earnings this week. If we scroll down to financials, which were the first out, Goldman Sachs is basically hovering at where it was. So it looks like these stocks have pretty much climbed to their highs prior to earnings and didn't really jump. If anything, they dropped in most cases after earnings. But we do see Morgan Stanley coming back up into the 140s, Goldman holding in around 705, and JP Morgan up around just under 290. It had a nice uplift yesterday as the markets caught a bit of an uptick. I do expect SoFi will continue. This thing's been on a run. That's one that I would take a look at. And then on tap for next week, we've got Google. This has been ever increasing from the low 70s to the or 170s to the mid 184s. Worth a look going into earnings next week. And Netflix coming out with earnings and off in the pre-market down almost $20, but it's had almost a $300 per share run up, so almost a 30% run up in the last quarter. That's where we are today. Good luck in your trades, and if you like the videos, please hit the like and subscribe.